Hi, welcome to Dee Blooms. Today I'm introducing my east and southern exposure windows where I grow the rest of my orchid collection. As I walk around, you'll also see my back patio where I have some of my outdoor orchids. So here I have the Phalaenopsis from my repot. I'm encroaching on my husband's bar area called the Crow Bar, which doesn't see very much activity. It might look like it does, but it doesn't. And I have my one and only Silogeny up here in a hanging basket. It's got, I think, what might be a flower spike, but I'm not 100% sure. It could just be a new growth. It's a new purchase. Here's one of my maxillarias that I got from Cal Orchid mid last year. I'm hoping it'll bloom this spring. Right now on this top shelf I have my Vanda hybrids, one small seedling Rhynchostylus gigantea, along with Maxillaria tenafolia, which I've been struggling with. It's not as strong of a plant as the Maxillaria down here, which is not the tenafolia, it's the Ben Berliner yellow cape. And then I have my Psychopsis right here in a self-watering pot. The Maxillaria tenafolia is also in a self-watering setup. It seems to have started doing better since I did that, so I'm going to continue that for now. I have some of my Oncidium seedlings, including a couple Wilsonaras that I keep here in my Oncidium shelf, which is pretty much the remainder of this top east-facing shelf. I do have one Zygonesia that I am struggling with, and I'm hopeful it will start growing soon. On my second shelf of my eastern exposure, I have my Dendrobiums. I have a lot of seedlings right now. The three on the end here in this beautiful Mexican painted ceramic pot is our three small Phalaenopsis types. Here is a lavifolium. I have my Cleisocentron gokusingii back here. And then I have my one of my Mastivalias. Sorry, I had a mind blank there. It's bloomed twice now, and it looks like it's possibly going to form a third flower right there. I have my Dendrobium bracteosum right here. Let's see. This is my Dendrobium tannii next to it. I have a small Epicatlia seedling, Rene Marquez, right here. My Dendrobium hecuense. This is my Dendrobium bellatulum, still on the stick from Andy's Orchids. Dendrobium kingianum, another Dendrobium Phalaenopsis type next to that, and three others in this combined pot, various Dendrobium Phalaenopsis types. I also recently got a gift from a friend, this Grammatophyllum seedling, crown leopard fox. I have from Sunset Valley Orchids another Dendrobium here on this cork. It's a Parisiae hybrid, Den Adastra Parisiae tropical berry. I just got this one in December. Here I have hanging from Andy's Orchids my Oberonia. It has 7 new growths. I am so happy with it so far. It might be a little hard to see the growths, but it's doing so well since I got it about 2 months ago now. And I'm just fascinated with the leaf structure and its growth pattern, and it already bloomed for me. This is the spent flower spike, if you can kind of see it. My friend calls it the rattlesnake tail bloomer, which I find hilarious. Here I have a few summer blooming phal seedlings that I'm struggling with a bit. And I have one of my sarcochylus inside, where the 14 other sarcochylus I have, which are all young seedlings from Sunset Valley Orchids. Well, actually a few are from other vendors or other nurseries, but I decided to keep one inside and see how it grows compared to all the other ones I've been growing outside. Here's my Angraecum didieri. And again, we're in the east window on the second shelf. And then here's my Prosthecia cochleata. I call it my Octopus Orchid. I got it from Sunset Valley Orchids 9 months ago. There's the bloom spike that it gave me several blooms. I grew this middle growth with the dried sheath, and for some reason it didn't bloom for me, so I don't know if time might regenerate that or not, but it's already got a new growth. So I'm encouraged that it's doing okay. For now, I also have my Streptocarpus collection here. I did another video on the Streptocarpus introducing them. And they're doing okay here. I have this little computer fan blowing on them to try to help with the powdery mildew, which seems to be doing well so far. I also have another fan up here with my larger Cymbidiums. I started seeing a little bit of mold growing on the top of their media, even though I have a couple fans blowing air around this room. Obviously it wasn't enough, so since I've added this other little computer fan, it's so nice and quiet, it has solved that for now. I have hanging here, now we're starting into my southeast exposure, southern exposure, Miltonia spectabilis plant that bloomed for me last spring into the summer, and I'm hoping it'll do it again. It's been growing really well. It's got about 4 new growths that it's been working on. And hanging off of that is a zygopetalum, Miltonia chiasime. This is from Andy's Orchids. It's a young orchid. So again, it's a Miltonia, I misspoke. And then here I have, I thought it was a grammatophyllum, but it's actually a Miltasia. And it's the Darth Vader Dark Star. I was pleasantly surprised. Beautiful flowers. And it is, I believe, putting out another flower spike on a new growth for me, as well as a new growth. And then on the southern exposure, I have Pendulous Cymbidium, Dorothy Stockstill, putting out a new growth for me, and a small epidendrum, Vepiguda. This is my one and only Phragmipedium right here. And I have some other various epidendrum pore packs. And then Miltoniopsis, we start seeing my Miltoniopsis, which I think I'm going to switch to where my Vandas are. I think I'm going to put my Vandas here, because these are all my Miltoniopsis seedlings. I have 2 more here, and in the middle of this bunch is another Miltasia. But it gets so much more light, so I think the Vandas would do better on this top shelf. And then switch the Miltoniopsis over here. And then so the second shelf on my southern exposure window, these are all my Cattleyas. I have a couple Cymbidium seedlings. And then further down, here's the rest of my Cattleyas. Most are seedlings. I have a couple Zelencoas. I have one here that hasn't bloomed for me yet from Sunset Valley Orchids. And I have one here that was in bloom that I recently got in December from Sunset Valley Orchids, and now it is working on a 2nd and 3rd flower spike. Pretty exciting. And then I have one of my other Dendrobiums here that it's a Terresii, I misspoke again. Canaliculatum, and it's called a tea tree orchid, and it really likes high light, so I've put it with my Cattleya seedlings, and it's been doing really well. It's starting to put out a new growth for me right down there, and I'm pretty happy about that. And then I have this hanging pole in my southern window, and starting up top I have a Vanda hybrid cross falcata with curvifolia. I have a larger Miltoniopsis plant here, and I've got a few little blooms trying to work their way up. Here's where my little mini Stanhopea that I've filmed the repot on hangs. Been doing well. My one and only Dendrobium is here. I have another Miltonia hybrid that I'm hoping will bloom for me again soon. It's been working on a couple new growths. And down here is my largest Dendrobium. It's a Phalaenopsis type, and I got it from Cal Orchid in the summer, June or July. I had gotten it from them. I think it was July, and it bloomed shortly thereafter. And so far it's not put out any new growths, but I'm hoping it's still maybe just adjusting. And then down here from Andy's, still on a stick, is my Ascocentrum Garryi. So that is what I have on this side. And then you cross the cat house to the other sliding glass door. I have a very large Cymbidium working on the flower buds. I have two large flower spikes. We had some freezing or close to freezing temperatures a few weeks ago, and I brought my orchids inside, and most of them have made it back outdoors, but I'm going to keep this one inside so I can enjoy the flowers more closely. It's right here with one of my beautiful amaryllis bulbs that has been blooming since Christmas. Just gorgeous. I love these. The other orchid that I have over here, besides some other miscellaneous houseplants, is my beautiful, you can kind of see the roots. I keep it nice and moist, and it's my Vandinopsis orchid. I got this from Nat's Orchids. They're based out of northern Illinois, and I use this press and seal type of Glad wrap or saran wrap to hold in the moisture longer, because it has a beautiful root system that I'm trying to support, and I do not want to lose it. It came potted up this way, and with this giant vase that I found at IKEA, and I put some rocks and I keep water at the bottom. It's been doing great. It's been working on this. It finished growing this leaf for me, and now it is actually putting out another new leaf. So this whole area, my southern exposure for my orchids, and currently my Streptocarpus, all leads out to my patio. And that will be another video where I'll show you more about my patio. And thanks for joining me, and if you have any questions about my setup, please let me know. Thanks.